Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is where the comedians, of course, talk sports. And of course, we got to get ready to get the show started. And let's jump into it with my man. First up is my man, Talent. Talent, how you doing today, sir? How's everything?
Hey man, I think I'm good, man. I think I'm good. How you?
I'm all right. I can't complain. Everything good with you?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Getting this work done.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. So Tuesday is what it is, right? Next up is my man, Fig. How you doing, sir?
Hey man, I'm fair to middling.
If I had a dime for every time he said that, boy, I'd be a rich man. Mike Shine in the building. What's going on, son?
Hola, hola, hola.
I gotta get one.
Wasn't that a song?
There's some quality when he says when that mic comes on, boy. I gotta give me one of those. Also in the building is my man Rodney Perry. How you doing, sir?
What's up, party people?
All right, so let's get ready to jump into this, man. So you know how usually I try to start off the show with something crazy, some kind of crazy story and everything else. You know how I always try to find something and everything else. I don't know if this is one of the craziest stories, but it's definitely one of the dumbest I think I've found out. Now I don't know if you're familiar with this tennis player by the name of Boris Becker, but this dude literally got sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for bankruptcy offenses. Now what he did was on Friday he got caught. He was already sentenced, but he had gotten caught by transferring large amounts of money and hiding assets after he was declared bankrupt. So what he did was he was basically transferring money all around, and he declared bankrupt and everything else. But what got him busted was he basically transferred some money to his ex-wife to help him hide, and of course his ex-wife did not help him hide. So he ended up getting caught, and one of the allegations that came forward was, we started this case against you and everything else thanks to your ex-wife. So with that being said, did you hear about that too? What do you think?
Yo, first of all, it's amazing that who trusts their ex-wife? Like that's amazing. That's why she's the ex.
Right.
Like something went wrong in there. The last person you can trust is the ex-wife.
Hilarious.
Now you hiding money. First thing she's thinking is that divorce. So you've been hiding all this from the divorce. I would call a divorce lawyer. I think that's amazing that he can trust his ex-wife, first of all. Second of all, if we ain't learned nothing, man, you can't hide nothing. Technology, the year 2022, it's impossible to really fully hide anything.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And Fig,
read what you said, bro.
And to get this thing started off right, he's doing 2.5 years for this, bro. So I don't know if the crime fits this. Fig, does he seem fair to you?
What? I wasn't being fair. He cheated the federal government, and they caught him and sentenced him to 2.5 years. You wouldn't know. Is it fair? I don't know. Listen, these hoes ain't loyal. Listen, and man, he's a fool. I remember Boris Becker, man. He tore it up. I think at the age of 17, man, he was a dope tennis player, but you should have known in advance whether you can hide money with your ex-wife or he could think of nobody else to hide his money with. He deserved this. He deserved to be in jail because he was stupid. That's what. How about that?
Mike, he tried to shuffle his money and everything, and somebody told him this is a good idea, spreading it around. But obviously, when you file for bankruptcy, this is not one of the smartest things to do, Mike.
Not at all. Here's some whack tennis jokes. He thought his ex-wife was his ace in the hole. And now he has to serve 2.5 years.
Because there's no love left.
There's no love. Listen, Talent is right. Technology and the way it is, unless you're going to do basic skills and have that money under your mattress, and if you're going to involve your ex-wife, you're going to have to make her part of the crime. So you can't tell her that you're hiding money. You got to make her she got to spend some of this money. Like some of this money she got to use for something. You got to bring her in. And that's a lot of work. But damn, 2.5 years for Boris Becker. Man, have the high and mighty fallen. Good.
Rodney, what's your 2 cents on this, bro?
Boris Becker was a big deal, man. This is crazy. to see it. But like me, I'm always excited when somebody white go down, man. Well done, boy.
Oh my God.
The business bully has joined the building. Business bully. This is the case
Really excited.
Boris Becker got sentenced to 2.5 years for hiding money. He got caught. And the start of him getting caught was spending some of the money he was trying to hide to his ex-wife.
Ronnie crazy.
Wow. I'm gonna say this to you, Frank. Boris Becker, see, this is what happens when cultural appropriation goes wrong. All of us got a great Uncle Skippy, and great Uncle Skippy, where he hid his money in the mattress. See, this is what happens when you don't have the cultural sensitivity to understand the importance of how to hide your money and keep your mouth shut, but hush the people you need to hush with a couple dollars. This is why he deserves all that jail time. Not to mention, you gotta choose your chicks better.
And in a related story, Boris Becker was sodomized by a gentleman named Big Meats.
It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long
Yo,
day.
Somebody gotta edit that out.
You can tell when Uncle Rodney cranky because he go for the neck.
It's a story.
It's gonna be a long show today. Talent, man. So the NFL has
The
now
gentleman's name was Big Meats.
The NFL has now said that the NFL is retreating on its belief that Brian Flores' case allegation is without merit. So what Brian Flores, the NFL initially declared that Brian Flores' case was without merit, and then the NFL seemed to acknowledge there was merit in the claims. But as of Monday, they basically said, more recently, there's no merit in this claims and everything else. But they hired a separate committee to investigate this. This hurts his claims, as he's trying to go forward with that Brian Flores case. So Hugh Jackson's case by an independent committee was thrown out, saying, you know what, there's no merit here and everything else. So what's your thoughts on the update of this, T?
Well, I mean, there's a thing called the court of public opinion. And it looks like these are the games you play to play with the public opinion. So if you say something enough, people believe it. So I understand going back, there's no merit, no merit, no merit. They're going to drag this thing out. They're going to say no merit to it for about 5,000 more times. And half the people who started with hypeness, the hype's going to die down. But like any other court case, if there's merit, the cream's going to come to the top. You're going to find out the truth. So you could say what you want to say. I think this is part of the propaganda part. Just no merit, no merit. Somebody done made a conscious decision like, drill that home, drill that message home so we can kind of turn the public opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fig X. I'm going to ask Fig X. Fig X, do you agree with the NFL and the public opinion, with Talent saying, do you believe that if a lot of people keep hearing that there's no merit, no merit, no merit, that there actually will be no merit, and go along with the NFL saying there's the reason why they put the story out?
The NFL lie. The truth ain't in them, and they don't love their Jesus. How about that? Hold on, let me just say this. If you think this case don't have merit, do me one favor. Fire your lawyer. If it ain't got no merit, you don't need an attorney. Just go into court by yourself. Your Honor, this case has no merit. Throw it out. Just fire your attorney, and then I'll believe there's no merit.
Okay. Mike Sean. Of course, obviously, that keeps being said over and over again. The NFL has hired a separate committee to find this out. They came away, walking away, saying there's nothing here. There's no merit here, and literally came out yesterday saying that. Where are you at when you hear this type of allegations for Hugh Jackson, who basically had a lawsuit along with Brian Flores, and was using this to combine his lawsuit with Brian Flores against the NFL?
Hugh Jackson, I knew he didn't have a leg to stand on because he was trying to get people to believe that the Browns had to pay somebody to help them lose. Like, when Hugh Jackson was the coach, why would they believe that that he got paid extra or they needed help losing? Like, this was a losing organization for years upon years upon years. I think Brian Flores is going to be fine. I think they're trying to, discredit the weak link in the argument, and they might have done a good job of doing it. I still don't think it affects Brian Flores. I think he's going to go on with his situation because he actually has proof that he turned that team around. Mm-hmm. So he is a different story. Like, this team was already losing when Hugh Jackson is saying that they wanted him to lose more.
Right.
Right.
So-
We're going to jump into this Brian Flores case in a second, but Rodney Perry, what's your take on this, man, when you hear this?
I would imagine that Flores needs to really pay attention to who they bring in. I mean, you know, we've been looking at this story, and then you hear about other people coming in. It's class action, blah blah. But I mean, maybe a guy like Hugh Jackson is being brought in on the other side, you know, to weaken the case. So you got to really be conscious of who you bring in, because their case may have no merit, which might weaken the overall case. So, like I think, like some of y'all said, I mean, Flores got a pretty strong case. They're not saying his got no merit, but you know, Hugh Jackson.
That's a great point. I didn't think of that, trying to sabotage the original case. Bully, what's your take?
And it looks like Big Meat is.
Bully, what's your take?
I would say this, Frank. I think it's very important to keep in mind that the NFL is not without vast resources. This could eat. I agree. This could be a situation where it's a spook who sat by the door type of situation, because it's the Cleveland Browns. Like, come on, bro. Like, when people say they're trying to take a dump, but they don't want to be vulgar around their kids, they say they're trying to take the Browns to the Super Bowl because that's the only time they're going there. So let's come on, man. The other part of that is this does not ruin Brian Flores' case. It only strengthens it. Like, he may have some issues, but me over here, I got the text. As long as this phone getting these screenshots are good, yeah, bro. No, you gonna run me my money.
Yeah, it's interesting you say all that. I wanted to get everybody's point on this and everything else, because at the same time they said this, the NFL came out with some news yesterday afternoon saying that basically they made an offer again to Brian Flores, and the lawyers representing Brian Flores basically did not accept, and they're not moving forward with that whole, you know, they're trying to basically try to settle this whole thing without it going to trial. And as many times we discussed it, Brian Flores is not doing that. You know, he ain't. This is not going to happen. So anybody want to get the last word on this Brian Flores situation?
Oh.
They just haven't got to his price yet. Everybody got a price.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
Yes, they
Because-
do.
No,
Everybody got a price.
No.
He asked if anybody had to say. Nobody moved.
I will say this.
Everybody got a price.
I think Rodney.
No, they don't.
I think Rodney in normal cases would be absolutely correct. I think what is real clever about this is Brian Flores still is owed 2 years of salary by the Dolphins.
that part.
And he's got a salary coming from the Steelers. I would agree with Rodney 9 out of 10 times, but I think this guy's got a few million that is coming to him. So that might be the reason why he
So his price might be $10 million.
Yeah, but
Let me just say this, and then y'all can say
That boy got a price. I bet money.
We got a history of our people, black men, in the history, athletes and actors, that does not have a price. Everybody can't be bought.
Who don't have a price, Fig? Who don't have a price?
And first off, there was Muhammad Ali that didn't have a price.
That's one guy.
Hold up. There's Sidney Poitier that didn't have a price. Martin Luther King didn't have a price. Hold up, I'm not finished. Martin Luther King didn't have a price. Malcolm X didn't have a price. You asked me for names, I'm giving them to you. I said in our history. How much, man? Everybody don't have a price. That's all I'm telling you.
I don't want to be a nitpicker because I know what Fig said. I agree with both gentlemen.
Oh God.
Muhammad Ali did have a price when he rejoined the Nation of Islam, when he when he left.
Yep.
He did have a price then when
I'm talking about when you're fighting when it has to do with you and your people, and you're fighting against the other side. When you're fighting against white America and racism, everybody don't have a price.
Everybody has a price.
And that's what Flores is absolutely fighting. He's fighting about racism in the NFL. So everybody don't have a price when it comes to racism.
But we're not going to talk about the NFL
I
fight,
wish
though?
you were right, Fig.
You ain't nothing.
I wish you were right.
We're not going to talk about the NFL fight, no?
We gonna move on. We gonna move on.
Well,
This-
before we move on, I want to make it clear to everybody watching. I have a price.
I don't.
Fig, you don't have a price.
Right. How much you gonna pay me to move on?
Yeah,
the
hold on,
number.
wait. Last thing, Fig, you telling me I come to you,
I don't have a price.
I'm renovating that house today. It's gonna be done.
I don't have no price.
That's not true, dog.
I don't
All right,
have no
can
price.
we move on now?
I bet if you get free
You can pay
haircuts
anything you
for
want.
the
I don't
next
have no
6
price.
years.
I don't have no price.
Can we move
Not
on
when
now?
it comes to my people.
All
I
right,
don't have no
Big.
price.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
No,
All
say
right,
okay to Rodney.
Y'all done?
I'm done. As long as he
He
is,
got a
I
price.
am.
I'm gonna be real. I will lead all y'all squares to danger for the right price.
Everybody got a price.
Not me.
All right, so here we go. The next story of speaking of price and no price. I don't know if you guys got this story. Rodney, you might know this guy. Chicago Bears center Olin Krutz. He got fired yesterday. See, Talon, I'm sorry with you. He got fired yesterday. People were trying to figure out why he get fired. He was basically one of them commentators who talked on the sports game and everything else. He used to be a former Chicago Bears player. He put up a tweet, basically the Mike Tyson tweet. He put up the Mike Tyson tweet. Y'all remember this tweet that Mike Tyson basically put up talking about on social media, everybody's getting too comfortable disrespecting people without not getting punched in the face? Well, it turns out this dude ended up punching his coworker because his coworker said something to him. Nobody knows the details of it, but he punched the dude in the face. He got fired immediately. So he ends up, and then all of a sudden, people started lining up the time, T, and they were like, you know what? He ain't denying that he did this, but he got fired immediately, Talent. So I guess the question is, are people really getting too comfortable with saying some stuff and then come across these former NFL players, T?
We absolutely know these people. Everybody's way too comfortable. That's actually my favorite tweet this year. Y'all got way social. The tweet is social media has gotten y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people without getting punched in the face. I believe that. I stand by that. And listen, man, he hit a coworker or somebody he worked with. Yo, he probably deserved it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Fig, is nobody knows what the argument was about.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's to talk about what it was about, everything else. But Fig, he got fired immediately. And I guess his coworker forgot he was a former NFL player. It just came out the side of his neck, right?
Every day I wake up, Frank, and I walk these dogs. And Fig, the first thing I say is, who should I punch in the face?
Here we go. Fig, good take.
No, let me just say this. The Chicago Bears O-line has been garbage for as long as I can remember. I think way back to Jim McMahon and all them dudes. And all you got to do is punch somebody in the face to get fired. I thought he got fired years ago just because the O-line was garbage. So I don't know what his co-worker said to him to make him punch him in the face, but I'm sure he deserved it.
That's what he's trying out there to Mike Sean. When a guy literally physically assaults you in the booth, when you around the time you guys are preparing to do, obviously the draft and everything else, because they were talking about the draft and all this other stuff. It has to be a lot more to this case, or did he get just too comfortable? Mike.
Dog, I got to shout out. Will Smith is a pioneer because he don't let the floodgates open now. Watch your mouth. I'm just going to tell y'all, Mike Tyson's tweet was accurate. Will Smith's actions certified it. And people are tense right now. Watch your mouth unless you down to either fight back or duck. Watch your mouth because people ain't playing right now. All this road rage that's going on, my advice to everybody, unless you really bout that smoke, keep your mouth shut. That's all I'm saying because it's real out here right now. And he has to get fired. I mean, you can't allow somebody to punch a coworker. He has to get fired. But we don't know the story behind it.
Yeah.
Everybody got a price, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody got a price. They didn't know who
you either get fired or you get sued.
Rodney Perry, your take.
First of all, Olin Krutz is a star. All right, he's a legendary Bear, and he's working it. But how about this? That guy right there is not to be messed with.
Oh yeah.
Anybody got them little shifty eyes like that? Leave that man alone. Don't mess with this dude. This dude is not. And somebody said something to him, and he's still him. Right? People think because you're in a suit now that you ain't you no more. He's still a lineman, a big dude, and he's a violent. These guys are violent by trade. Like, what do you expect? Leave these dudes alone, man.
Yeah.
Bully, your take.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Frank. Here's the thing. To Uncle Rodney's point, this is exactly why I do not wear suits. Because I don't ever want you to think that just because I done lost a couple pounds and that I'm sitting here at this boardroom, that you can call me all types of things out your mouth and you're not going to catch these hands. The other part of that is this, right? Regardless of if they fired him or not, they can still be sued. The Bears can still be sued because that might have created a hostile, uncomfortable work environment. We don't know what happened from an HR perspective. And the last things the Bears need is to take an L off the field and on the field. But yeah, this smells like a lawsuit to me either way.
Yeah,
mental distress, anguish, and triggers, Frank.
Yeah.
People are
First of
triggered
all,
right
the
now.
Bears have shored up their offensive line. Wait to this season. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait, who? Name them.
Nobody knows their names yet, but that's all they got in the draft. They didn't get no running backs, no wide receivers. They got all big fat dudes.
Let me tell you something. That team is a wrap. But it ain't been a real Bear spotted in Chicago in 700 years.
It ain't no Jets in New York either.
So we got
You can't even fly there. You can't even fly to New York.
Right.
Ain't no Jets.
All over the place.
And damn sure ain't no Giants.
So, T, the next thing up, man, is I know we all saw this yesterday as soon as we got off the air with DeAndre Hopkins getting suspended for 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy. After I saw this, T, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, boy, the Cardinals have got to be lucky they ended up trading and getting Hollywood Brown because they would basically be out with no wide receivers. They were trying to base their whole thing on literally some rookies, some people coming in. But that losing DeAndre Hopkins for a third of the season and not being sure if Kyler Murray's gonna come back, literally the QB, because we still remember T, we still up in the air if Kyler Murray's even gonna be the QB because he might get traded before obviously before the start of the season. What do you think Arizona Cardinals is gonna look like for the first third of the season, T? What's your take?
Well, I think first of all, I think they knew this was coming. Remember, this went down in November. And here we are in May. So I think they knew this was coming. That's half a year. You know what I mean? But secondly, I think they're gonna be taking some L's early. This is definitely a weakened team at this point. So I got my fingers crossed for them because of all people, it affects Kyler Murray most.
Right. Vic, do you think that the Cardinals made the trade to get Hollywood Brown because they knew? They said they didn't know, but do you think they made the trade thinking that Hollywood Brown was coming over and everything else because they knew literally that this dude's getting ready to get fined for the PEDs? Do you think there's some backhanded channel stuff?
Nah, I doubt it. I don't think that was the reason they picked up another fantastic superstar type receiver. I think they did that to make their team better. And the fact that he's only going to be gone for 6 games. I mean, listen, the NFL went to 17 and they were good with D-Hop and without, another superstar receiver. So however many games they won, at the end of the day, it really depends on who they got to play on in the beginning of their schedule. Determine whether they can win a few of those games or not. Then when he come back, they'll take off just like a jet.
Mike Sean, people have been saying that they've been tampering and everything else, Mike. People say, yeah, we believe that obviously the Cardinals tampered and everything else. So a lot of people are not comfortable with this, this news and everything else. I'm on the fence. So where are you sitting at? Do you think that they did tamper or they didn't tamper by making that trade for Hollywood Brown?
I don't know if they tampered. If they did, they didn't get caught. I just know when you get busted for a PED steroid, that's so 1990s. Like, they even test for those anymore? Like they're football players. Like, he's recovering from an injury. So I'm sure he probably did take steroids. Number 2, I just got to compliment Talent for doing double duty, doing a sports podcast and actually broadcasting from the Mount Vernon dogfighting competition. Because his focus is amazing. Like, you can tell that man is a veteran. Like, that is crazy. So
wait till they come up with the app I can sick them on you through this body.
So Rodney Perry, right? Here, another thing is that Hopkins ended up withdrawing his appeal. He first was moving forward with this appeal. Then they told him what they found, and then he said, "No, you know what? Never mind. He immediately withdrew his appeal. As soon as obviously it came forward and everything. Where your take at on this, Rodney? You think the Cardinals knew?
I don't know if the Cardinals knew or not, but I mean, I think you evaluate, like Fig said, like Mike Sean said, you evaluate the totality of the season, and the fact that I'm going to come in fresh at week 7, that's a good look in the NFL. He gets to play preseason. He gets to play. He gets to go into the season. He gets to practice. And so it's not they're not completely taking him out of the whole game plan. And so I think a guy like Hop, man, after a career of playing all these games, I think he's ready to take a couple of weeks off.
Oh, Bully, what's your take?
I think a lot of times, first of all, if anybody has any issue with DeAndre Hopkins and what's happening here, I want y'all to make sure that y'all have that same energy for Aaron Rodgers, who sat up there and lied. This is a very common thing, especially when people are taking what he calls let me get this right because I don't want to misquote him, a holistic approach. So he said he's working with his team. Here's the problem though. You can be as holistic as you want to, but when you get Viagra from the gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning to bang a skank, these are the types of things that can pop up in your drug test, Frank.
Ain't holistic another word for weed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hopkins was like, I ain't testing. Y'all ain't. It's a fake positive. Then he said, we can run the entire drug test. He was like, no, I'm good. Never mind.
He went full Perry.
The other thing about PEDs in the NFL is the NFL don't look at PEDs like baseball. They just don't. It's just not approached the same way. So the NFL is like, let's not make a big deal out of this.
Yeah, and because obviously he's a star in Arizona too, so then the trade just happened. They might not have wanted too much digging and everything else because as soon as the trade happened, it's 2 weeks. He got traded 2 weeks ago. And Hollywood Brown ends up getting traded. So they might not want too much investigative reporting for this. That's just my take.
You muted. Talent.
When you appeal, they make everybody in the room empty their pockets and they'll get that cocaine. Come on, we got to season the plan.
I just know when Business Bully called a woman a skank, I almost put a condom on. Like I got scared. Like that's a harsh word.
Okay, because the groupies are just such high quality women. Like they're high quality. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that there were such high class groupies in the NFL now. Okay,
right.
We're drawing a line at skanks. This is the world we're in here. Okay, great.
Moving on, Adrian Peterson ended up had to complete 20 domestic violence and alcohol counseling sessions, and we all know Adrian Peterson is a free agent. He's got to do with him in the next 6 months following February arrest. Peterson agreed to the sessions, and here's the crazy thing about this: he wants to play. See, he wants to come back. But he got this domestic violence thing in his shadow of his thing. Adrian Peterson, again, free agent, wants to play. What's your take on this, T? You think some NFL team is going to take a run at Adrian Peterson, even though he got to do these 20 domestic violence and alcohol counseling sessions?
Well, I mean, come on, man. He should play. I mean, he's staying in shape and beating people up. So you want to prove to the league that you're staying in shape. You're not playing. You start some fights, and he's winning from what I understand. He's beating up good. So he's winning. Sign him right away. What more man got to do to prove he's ready to come?
Fig, what's your take of this?
I want to talk to Mike. Hey, Mike, what's the name of that dude? That the white boy that be fighting everybody. What's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. That Adrian Peterson need to fight Jake Paul. That's
Jake
what
Paul wants CAP.
Adrian Peterson need to fight somebody else, man, other than these women, man. God,
His family.
Listen,
the winner get to the league.
The funny thing is, Adrian Peterson is like 175-year-old running back, man. And running backs are usually done after 5 years. So Adrian Peterson is a freak of nature. Does he have anything left to give to an NFL team? I'm not really sure, but I know he got them hands.
I don't know if that's it. Mike, the thing is does an NFL team even want to take a flyer on him with this kind of record, Mike?
Come on, man.
I'm going to go into my segment, things I will never say directly to Adrian Peterson. Say this off the door. After beating your son till his balls were bruised and having all these domestic violence and now having alcohol meetings and stuff like that. The last person who needs to get hit in the head again is Adrian Peterson. Because
Hey, Adrian, there's Mike. Mike is talking about you, I think.
Oh, Adrian's here?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. Your work ethic in the gym is absolutely something to behold, and I think you would be a great mentor.
Oh, don't worry about it, Mike. He just left. He just walked out.
You are a brutal maniac who deserves to be locked up for your entire life of what you did to a child.
Hold on, Mike. Mike, come back. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. They should actually have you do mentorship for fathers around the country.
Hey, Adrian, man, take it easy, man, bro. He out.
He's a genuine Viking.
The death penalty wouldn't be enough.
Here goes, man. I mean, the guy's had a pretty decent career, and we see this a lot with NFL players and boxers. Guys don't know when it's over, man. And how about this? It's like most athletes, they're not ready to be home. I mean, this guy been on the road playing football his whole life, the better part of his life. He don't know how to be home with these people, kids making all that noise. He gotta, you know how we do. I mean, I can't be home. They lucky they gone now. I'll be punching people in the face. This is the thing. As a father, Adrian Peters is a black dad. Okay, he's a black dad. Leave that man alone. He in the TV, watching TV. He trying to pay attention. And y'all gonna keep bothering him.
I'm with you, Rodney. He's a black dad, and his defense with those bruised balls, like sometimes when you whoop your kid, somebody moves, and in the move with a swing, and it can hit the wrong part of the body. I'm not defending him. I'm defending my ass whoopers on my kids. we all got our crosses to bear.
Well,
I just say next time he beat his kids, he should let him keep his pants on. How about that?
No. When you whooping up,
no, Adrian Peterson go butt naked with his
ass 101. The reason you make him strip is the embarrassment and the ass whooping together does miraculous, bro. My son averaged one ass whooping a year growing up because of that. One. You know that's miraculous with a black kid. I got a great one.
Billy, what's your take on this, Adrian Peterson? Do you think a team would take a flyer on him, man? Because I'm bringing in, especially these domestic cases. What you think?
I mean, he's not beating the coach. First, second of all, Adrian Peterson is a phenomenal running back. Let's not act like he isn't. Now he is on the downslide of his career, so I mean, it's not like you couldn't get him for a song. The problem with this Negro is he has not learned a lesson that I've learned in 10 years of marriage, and that's this: you don't argue with your wife in public, and especially not on a plane. Anytime my wife wants to start, listen, you're right. No, I'm not being funny. You're right. No, absolutely. Yep. Whatever you say. Yeah, no, this plane has propellers all over it. You absolutely right.
Right.
That's it. He did it there. And then the cops in LA, because there's no crime happening in LA. What else was they going to do but arrest him? And then she came to us defense like, no, he just yelled at me real bad. He ain't hit me. But yeah, man.
Edit this part out. Edit this part out. Adrian Peterson is one hit away from trying to cross a busy highway from gas. That's it.
Yo, edit.
I'm gonna have to edit that part out.
I love it.
All right, before we jump into the NBA and talk about the NBA games and stuff like this, I saw a small line item, and I thought this was going to have a lot of ripple effects. But Rudy Gobert has given the Jazz an ultimatum, saying basically it's him or me. You know what I mean? And at first I thought it was just a rumor report, everything else, but I did some digging, and a lot of people are reporting this, bro. So T, if you're the Utah Jazz and you're sitting there saying him or me, what do you think? You think they trade Donovan Mitchell, or do you think they keep Rudy Gobert? What do you think?
Is that the him?
Yeah, him or me? He's like,
look at my face. That's like Randy Brown said. It's Michael Jordan to me. Come on, Krause. What you gonna do, baby? Not happy. Randy Brown. Are you
ain't that Gobert's team, though?
Listen, man. First of all, man, I'm so mad at my brothers. Just when you think we making progress, if this ain't light skin against dark skin.
Wow. Yeah, you said it now.
Part of my French, Frank. You can edit this or beep it or whatever you want to do. This nigga here. The light-skinned dude said, hey, Utah. It's me and him. Is he crazy? He don't play spades. He don't do no kind of math. Because I'm not trading 30 points a game for 6 rebounds. Let me explain something to you.
Wow.
This is our problem right here. Why we can't coexist. They're both good at what they do. They don't do the same thing, first of all. I understand those situations where you got like 2 high-powered 2 guards or points or centers, and they're like, hey, man, well, come on. But these guys do 2 different jobs out there, and collectively, when they're doing their job, the team wins. When they both are on their game and doing their, respective jobs, that team is very good, viable, competitive, and compete at the highest level. I mean, we haven't talked about Utah this much since Karl Malone and Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Utah is in our conversation on a daily basis, you get all the way here up the mountaintop. Only after all that, light-skinned dude turn around and say, get rid of the real nigga.
Get rid of the real one.
I'm gonna just throw this whole show out because I can see this getting ready to happen. Craig, what's your take on this?
I just think it's hilarious that Talon said, "Pardon my French," and Rudy Gobert is from France. Yo, man. I think when you go to the front office and make a demand about getting rid of somebody, you should probably be the best player on your team, which Rudy Gobert is not. I mean, although he's defensive player of the year a couple times, man, he's offensively deficient. And Donovan Mitchell is a superstar, man. That kid is a superstar. Rudy Gobert is a complimentary player. So,
right.
Rudy, they got a place for you on the French national team.
Mike, what's your take, bro?
I think this is reverse psychology. I think Rudy knows by saying this, he's the one that's going to be stripped out. And I think this is why he wants to leave. But in bigger news, what's dramatic is that the population of Utah black people, once one person gets shipped out, is going to go down to 6. So I don't know. That's horrible. That's horrible. And I feel bad. It's really hard. It's got to be really hard for a black man to put on Utah Jazz uniform, knowing that the population in Utah, I think it's like 1% African-American there. It's really tough to really actually play for the Utah Jazz and to go there and be the person that says it's either him or me. That's dramatic. But I really think he wants out. So that's his way of getting out.
I think Right. Where would you like to see Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell get traded? Where do you think that,
Well, I think all of this has been orchestrated by Donovan. I think him and Rudy are real close friends. He said, man, I can't say it, but if you could tell them you want me out of this bit, this will thank you, Jesus.
Right.
No, all jokes aside, man. Rudy Gobert, I think they all want off this sinking ship. I mean, the Jazz have been looking good, but they ain't been looking that good. And they need, you can't win in the NBA with one guy. And if who comes there, I don't know who comes to Utah. Is the better question. Not who goes where they're going. I mean, Donovan Mitchell will be welcome a lot of places. I think he'll be welcome in LA. He'll be welcome in with the Nets. He'll be welcome a lot of places around the league. But and Rudy Gobert will be too. So I mean, those guys could end up any number of places. But the question is, who does Utah get? Because don't nobody want to be there, and so they might be stuck on a sinking ship.
That's you know what, Bully? I think he's right with that too. Because at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, I'm sure, have both no trade clauses in their contract and everything else. But everybody's saying on the internet, I did a little bit of digging, that Donovan Mitchell is going to probably end up on the Lakers. So, that's what they're saying he's going to end up.
Where did you dig, Frank? Where did you dig?
Everybody got to show you they work like it's long division in math class.
Here's the funny part. It ain't like Roddy to actually read it. So,
oh my God.
This
Bully, what's your
I don't want to. I just want to know what happened yesterday when I was off because it has been really hectic in here today. Real quick, here's the thing about this whole situation. When it comes to the Utah Jazz, right? I've worked in Utah, and the only thing they got popping up there is they have some of the best smokers. Literally, some of the best smokers you will ever find. No, I'm not talking crackhead talent. I'm talking actual barbecue grill smokers. So, I mean, the food is excellent. Yeah, man, because the altitude and the environment. Anyway and anyhow, yeah, there's no – I had to look up who Rudy Gobert was. Sorry. Like, the only Rudy I know is Rudy Rush and Rudy from the Cosby Show. That's about it. I know who Donovan is, but, dog, nope, I don't care.
Honestly,
I couldn't care less.
End up being a Lake when it's all said and done. When it's all the
is he old enough though, Frank? Is he old enough?
Wow.
Oh, that's low. He might be. He might be.
I love that this is the only sports show where they question the
Who's your source?
Who are these people?
It wasn't like that. It was like
okay.
I want to hear about the research. I want to hear the little stuff.
Because DK Metcalf is still with the Seattle Seahawks.
Frank, send in the research so Rodney can read it live on air. Go ahead, send in the research.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. It might make a longer show, but I'll do that.
I'm sure it would.
Let me throw this out to you, Talent, and I'm gonna start out this first bit. We saw the game last night. Miami ended up dismantling the Sixers, bro. I don't think anybody expected the game to be as close as it was up to the first half. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. We all knew that Miami was going to take them out, but we knew it was going to happen, right? So, what's your take on this team?
Well, first of all, they were coasting. I watched that game, and the first half was only close because they were just going through the motion and coasting, And then when they came out at halftime, third quarter, halfway through the third, you started seeing some Miami ball. What you've been seeing all year for them to even take the place that they have in the playoffs. But for the first half, it was like a coast game. It was almost like one of those boxing matches where you're feeling the guy out. You throw him more jabs than normal just to see which way he coming before you start throwing the haymakers and the uppercuts and the overhand rights. That's what Miami did last. I look for this to be a sweep.
Fig, I'll be honest, man. At the end of the first half, I literally thought that the Sixers had a chance. I was like, "Yo, this game is the game," And then all of a sudden, the haymakers came out. What's your recap of this, Fig?
Oh man, it's pretty sad that we get to this point in the NBA season or the second season, which is the playoffs, and the games aren't competitive. Man, it's sad. I'm just sad that Joel Embiid got injured, and I think if he was playing, the game would have been more competitive. But at the end of the day, Miami is gonna beat the dog snot out of the Sixers, man, and ain't nothing they can do about it unless Joel Embiid comes back. You know what I mean? And starts to play a little bit, man. Yeah, man. Not even competitive.
The word is that he's going to come back. Joel Embiid's going to come back, Mike, games 3 and 4. I'm not even sure at that time if they might be down 2-0. But if he does come back and they end up losing, then they still got even more problems. But what's your take when you saw the game last night, Mike? What's your take?
Hold on. I want to do something real quick. Hold up. I'm blowing smoke in the screen because I want to disappear because I'm doing my James Harden impersonation.
Wow.
Let me give you James Harden's clutch numbers yesterday, right? The star is gone. The superstar is gone. So it's up to you because they traded for you, right, James? He played 35 minutes and went 5 for 13, 16 points. He shot the ball 4 times in the second half. What is the point of you being here? Like, if Joel Embiid is there, who are you setting up exactly? Like, who are you trying to set up with your passing? Like, this is amazing. And it's almost like he knows his stats. So he's like, I'm not going to shoot too much because I rather only go like 5 for 13 or whatever instead of going 9 for 28. No, he's an above average point guard. If the Sixers extend him and give him $200 million, y'all deserve whatever y'all get from here on out. But don't say I just started saying this. I've been saying this about James Harden.
Yo, Rodney, should James Harden be bringing up the ball? Because I was looking at this game like, dude, he's not coming off the picks. He's not doing anything. Like, he should be coming off. He shouldn't be bringing up the ball and doing it. They should be having him run off screens, getting the shot, and then shooting. That's the way I looked at the game. What about
I
you?
mean, they did trade for the guy. I mean, is he who he was? Maybe not, man. And I'm sure he didn't go to the Sixers thinking he was gonna have to carry the whole thing. I mean, he's been trying to avoid that, since Houston. And here he is once again having to carry a whole team, and he's just not that guy. He's proved that to us. And Joel Embiid going down is proven to be detrimental for this team, and they will not go another step without him. We would all like to see James Harden step up, but he's proven us that he's just not made it that no more. And he scored a lot of points in the past, but those points are gone.
So, to resident Sixer fan on the panel, the business bully, when you saw the game last night and everything else, I know you were screaming at your TV end of the third quarter, bro. You probably almost lost it and probably broke your TV. Talk to me. Tell me what you saw.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I got my TV from BJ's, and I have an insurance policy on it. But did you know that you just can't go and get another TV? You actually have to have the TV repairman come take the TV and service it. The backlights went out. That's how hard I hit the TV with my Harden jersey. Now, the good news is I did have another TV, so I plugged that up. Here's the problem, right? James Harden, we know, is a solid number 2 guy. He's not the number 1 guy. And guess what? He's not in bad company. I remember when Michael Jordan retired and Scottie Pippen was on the damn TV in the middle of the game, holding up his daggone Air Jordans, pointing to them, talking about come on back, because he knew his place. Like, let's stop trying to make this dude more than what he is. He's a solid number 2. We know that. And the other part of that is, I was talking big trash because Joel Embiid didn't have an orbital fracture. Now he's got an orbital fracture. It doesn't look good, but I don't feel like all hope is lost. But I'm also a realist.
You know what? If Doc Rivers ends up losing this series and everything else, I think Joel Embiid's. I think he's safe because they'll say, well, you know what? Doc is safe because they lost the series because Joel Embiid got hurt. My question to all of you guys, I'm gonna throw this out there to each one of you guys. You guys tell me. I'm gonna start with you, Fig. I'm gonna go around with you, Fig. You get to start. Do you think Joel Embiid's chances are now hurt for the MVP because of this happened and everything else, or do you think?
No, not the MVP. I mean, because the MVP is a regular season award. Look, what I was going to say is that I thought maybe we giving James Harden a bad rap because they did the same thing to James Harden that Boston did to Kevin Durant in the last series. I mean, Kevin Durant looked pedestrian by himself in the last series. I mean, he didn't do anything the first 3 games, and the 4th game he scored pretty decent. So, I mean, without any help, what can an NBA star or player do by himself? You can't do nothing. And them Miami is them the goons from Dade County. They get at you.
Mike Sean, you think Doc Rivers' job is safe if they lose this series?
I think Doc Rivers already, the way he's talking crazy to the media, I think Doc Rivers already knows he's on his way out. I don't think this is Doc Rivers' fault either. We've picked on Doc Rivers. He's done a lot of stuff, but at this point, dog, there's nothing he can do. Like, there's nobody. If your secondary star is not going to shoot the ball, and Maxi's only 21 years old. He's like 21 years old. Like, I don't know what you want to do. The guy, they're like, bring this guy off the bench. And they just start naming people. Paul Reed. Like, who is Paul Reed? Like, what do you want him to do? And unfortunately, like, Doc is going to take the heat for this. But, I think he's on his way out. I think his bags are packed.
Rodney Perry, you think the Sixers make a blockbuster trade to add to Joel Embiid because they realize they're short a little bit on the team because their bench isn't as deep as they'd like it to be?
I mean, they definitely need to do something, from the main office to kind of strengthen their bench. But how about this? And this is what we're not looking at. The NBA changed their refereeing style.
Ain't that the truth?
Absolutely right.
And so a lot of people that were scoring a lot of points we are seeing them being neutralized. You wasn't able to bang guys like this last year. You know what I mean? And so the guys that are benefiting are the really athletic guys. And so anybody that was like okay athletically, a la James Harden, is really feeling the brunt of this. I mean, you got to think James Harden was going to the free throw line 30 times a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He went to the free throw line maybe 3 times last night. That in itself is crippling to a guy like him. And so I don't know if the guy is playing bad or we're seeing the result of the new refereeing style for this season. And it may change all together next season. Who knows?
Town, do you think the Sixers bring in a different point guard or somebody else after the season and everything else to complement James Harden? Because James Harden's using a lot of energy bringing up the ball. What's your take?
Well, absolutely. First of all, to what Rodney said, Rodney, you're still not allowed to bang these guys. Ain't that much rule changing in the world to get the banging guy out there. So
what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna tell you how to save everything. Save the team. Save Doc's job. Doc Rivers need to bring the ball up. Doc, suit up, Doc. Bring the rock up. Let James run around some picks, catch the ball, and create something. Because Rodney, key thing Rodney said that's the realest thing they ever wrote is just that changing of how we're gonna call the game.
Yep.
Has disrupted Harden's whole existence. And you know how you know he's disrupted? When the camera hit him, pay close attention to this out of control beard. It's always been out of control, but now he can't even eat food through the sucker. The mouthpiece is this little. They got him doing half the interviews after the game because you can't hear him. You got the mic and you get the thing that go on the mic. That's what's on his face. Harden needs to adjust to the new play calling and the new calls of the refs because, and I'm not mad at the new play calling because I like to see them let them play. I hate a whistle every minute. A whistle every minute takes something out of the game. But when you let them play and let them adjust to the place, what happens is you get real basketball. You know what real basketball is? I play, and if I happen to get a call, then I stop and take my free throws. Not playing to get the free throw.
Right.
When you're playing to get the free throw, you make the game boring. You stop the game too much. You slow it down. And that's not what basketball is. If you fall too much, you're not watching basketball, you're watching Major League Baseball.
You eliminate the flopping, but you neutralize a guy like James Harden. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And they're still not allowed to bang a guy. You just can't.
Ain't bang a guy.
That's up to you. Buy the guy dinner first. Take him out.
This just saying Big Meat is out.
Bully, I would stop using some dudes. Bully, honestly, are you as a Sixers fan, do you think the Sixers need to bring in one more big piece like a la Donovan Mitchell or somebody in the offseason to help them? Because they need a point guard without James. For James Harden to be effective, he cannot be bringing the ball up, dribbling out of the 24-second clock, dribbling 20 seconds out of 24-second clock. Can't happen.
No.
Yeah, I think one more piece wouldn't be bad, Frank. I also think that, again, the Sixers are looking towards the future. Like I said, when the whole Harden thing went down, I don't think that this will be the year, but I think they're starting to build. If you look at Tyrese Maxey, if you look at what's happening, you're starting to see folks rally. Nobody thought the score was going to be that close, and don't even get me started on third and fourth quarters, but I digress. I still say there is growth there. There is still a level of excitement that should be there. Is it a wrap for the season? Not quite, but yeah.
The Sixers got one more year before Embiid has to be out of there.
Yeah,
they got one more year.
One more year. This upcoming year is the big year. Talon, I'm start with you, bro. The next thing up, the last game last night, man, the Suns ended up playing the Dallas Mavericks. The game was boring to me. I guess because I wanted the Mavericks to make it a little bit more competitive, and seems like the Mavericks only got Luka, and he's another one who dribbles. He dribbles 22 seconds out of 24-second clock. He drives me nuts. He don't pass the ball. But anyway, what was your take on the Suns and the Mavericks game last night? The game that the Mavericks ended up losing, and Chris Paul had a hell of a game. What's your take, T?
They said in the barbershop, the funniest thing today, they said if somebody would have told me 10 years ago, we're going to send an ordinary white guy to the league who can't jump, nothing athletic about him, and he's going to tear your asses up, nobody would have believed it. This guy right here, the one thing I like about Luka is he's an adjusting guy. We just talked about adjustments, making adjustments. I'm not going to say they're going to win anything, but he's going to make it damn competitive, and you're going to have to come out and play, suit up, play, and take this from me. You can take it from me, but you're going to have to take it from me. And I think that Dallas is going to give us some interesting highlights and some good. It ain't going to be no sweeping or nothing like that. I think they came to play.
Fig, what was your take on it? Because Dallas maybe came to play, but Phoenix looked like they're trying to definitely get back. To
Oh, absolutely. What Talon said was absolutely right, man. By being average, unathletic looking player, but we got two of them. Is Luka and Jokic. You know what I mean? Both of them dudes, they can't jump off a curb and they score incredible amount of points. But here's the thing. He can't do it by himself, man. If you look on the bench and see all of those players, the Hardaways and all the role players that's on the bench for Dallas, I think that's their Achilles heel, man. They just got a bunch of injuries, and Luka don't have no boys to run with him.
What was your take, Mike?
What's that?
You want to explain the noise before I continue?
Yes.
I ain't got the time of the show. Go ahead.
All right, quickly. I'm going to tell you what. The NBA better hope to God. They better hope to God that Luka don't get a running mate that can ball with him, because they can't stop him. There's not a player in this league that can stop him. Like I've been able to watch him in person, and you don't know, pause, how big this dude really is. Like, dog, he bully balls, pause again, everybody. Like, there's nothing you can do. Rudy Gobert, he embarrassed him. Dude is 7 foot, 280, and Luka embarrassed. He's one of the most unstoppable players I've ever seen. And yes, everything's below the rim.
Pause.
Just be happy Bradley Beal doesn't wind up in the mat. Well, I don't know. Pause below the rim. Okay, pause below the rim. I don't know. I think that was excessive pausing. But
that was over your head. That was actually a definite pause.
Definitely pause below the rim. Okay, below the rim.
You got to know what the rim is first.
Yo, Luka and Jokic on the same team.
Well, before we go, I just want to say,
Nah. Rodney Perry, I don't think Luka will ever get another star player to come play with him as much. He has a bad reputation on the Mavericks and everything else. I don't think players want to play with him. But you think Rodney, Luka's gonna ever win an NBA championship game?
I think Dallas is boring, man. I don't like watching them. I don't like playing them. I know Luka is a great player. LeBron James said he was great. You know, there's some of the greatest players that we love. Barkley and them all claim that he's a great guy. He seems to be a dope player, but they boring, man. I can't watch Dallas, man. They might as well play Mark Cuban. It's just sleep.
Well, Roddy, it's not that they boring, it's that their game don't come on till 11 o'clock at night, so we all sleepy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, these games come on late as hell.
Hey, somewhere in there, we missed the opportunity for a good circumcision joke in there, because he's like below the rim. Rodney said, "You gotta know what the rim is."
Billy, what's your take?
When I lived in Dallas, I'm not going to lie to you, I was bored by the Mavericks. Well, no, that's not true, because I mean, we had Dirk. It was a good time. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, now I'm bored by the Mavericks, and I'm thankful that I don't get them in my market. Nice. You know, it's the Mavericks. We all know what it is, bro. Like sometimes some teams are just content. Just to say that there's somebody to play. That's all it is. Right now, that's what the Dallas Mavericks are. You know what I'm excited about the Mavericks? When Mark Cuban does a good deal on Shark Tank that's going to bring some revenue to his organization. Other than that, I don't think about the Mavericks. Quite honest.
Hey, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro. We got to roll up out here.
Hey, you can follow me right at my house tonight. I will be watching two of the dopest games in the NBA playoffs, baby. It's Boston, Milwaukee, and then Memphis and Golden State. Now, those are the NBA games we need to be talking about.
That's exciting.
Mike, can you please just tell everybody out there how they can follow you?
You can follow me at Mike Strong Comedy, but if you see me out, just don't follow me. If you see me out, don't follow me.
I'm Rodney Perry Live on all social media, guys.
T.
You can follow me at Mike Sean Below the Rim.
And Bully.
At Business Bully TV on Instagram. Business Bully everywhere else.
That's the time. Thank you all for watching.
We should have done extra, because you got to edit a lot out. We should have done extra because
we really did. We should go 10 more minutes.
Because you got to edit out my Adrian Peterson comment.
We need to lean into the profanity, I believe. We should lean into it and just tell people that's what the fuck it is. We cussing.
Come on, right? You can't be doing that shit, man.
You know what? You motherfucking right.
I'm gonna let all
Motherfucking
y'all
right.
edit, and then y'all
Let's
spin
take this-
and render. And
Rodney,
then
Hey, yo,
that's fucking childish, Rodney.
Yo, fuck
You
that.
know what?
Hey,
I
Mo,
am on.
Frank, you still a hostage.
We still live?
No.
when that happened.